Hey everybody, hey Team Risk. I'm going into turn 32 now of my championship game, and I'm just going to go over the diplomacy situation right now as it's been unfolding. Right here, just to remind you, this is a map that shows all of the races and their approximate homeworld locations. I've written down their names all on this map. I've done it in game as well, so you can see there if you can't keep up. Um, so I'm gonna go ahead now and open my turn. Alrighty. So the first thing I usually do is check for explosions. The big conflict right now is there is EE here in the turquoise, and they're fighting against Fascist and Cyborg here. Fascist being green and Cyborg being orange. Um, I'm sort of helping Evil Empire here. I'm building some LCCs for them, not because I want them to win, but just because he built me a bunch of Gorbies and SSDs, and now I have, I feel honor bound to repay him. But I don't necessarily want him to win. The purple player here is Bird, who seems to be defending Evil Empire. And then the yellow is Fed. These ships were built close to EE. I think they built a starbase in EE's region and built these hulls there. I don't think that any Fed ships have really gotten very far yet. Um, they are starting to send some ships east, though. I see a Missouri and a diplomacy this turn. In the previous turn, there was a diplomacy in a Missouri. And then in the turn before that, I saw two Novas, or maybe two turns before. There were two Novas here. So it seems like Fed is finally starting to move east after not really doing very much uh, in the early game. Uh, Privateer, as you recall, is here. Just going to turn on the race names so it's a little bit easier. There were two explosions here. Let's see what they were. A fire cloud and a D-19 seem to have exploded. Well, I guess that's not a good sign for Fascist and Cyborg. So the reason I'm talking about this is the crux of the game right now. Um, Fed is in a very strong position. They've got a lot of ships, and it also seems like they're very well suited to defeating Cyborg with a favorable PP exchange. Um, Fed is allied with Robot, and Robot has given Fed a lot of automas. Um, and these Fed automas, they've got a lot of bays, and they can basically pretty easily defeat a biocide force. If they use say a Missouri uh, plus Automa combo, that's pretty hard to defeat. So right now it's looking like Cyborg is sort of pinned against the wall. They're stuck in this war that they don't really want with Evil Empire. They're trying to win it quickly, but Bird is gonna, maybe get in the way there. Incidentally, I've got a good relationship with Bird, and I'm thinking of maybe telling them to back off a bit because even though I don't want Cyborg to win, and I do consider them a threat, I think Fed is the much bigger player here, and I would say Fed is in the best position to win. So basically, Fascist and Cyborg want to try to take out the Evil Empire before Fed arrives here with their ships. Now, I'm going to just comment on the diplomacy in this game generally, and also my intentions. Like I said, I felt honor bound to build these ships for Evil Empires in repayment for all the Gorbies that they built me. But after that, I can kind of do whatever I want. Um, I have this nice starbase there, and I could presumably just keep building lizards and then start using them to clan drop. Um, I don't have anything against that. I might take out EE. I haven't made him any promises about, non-aggression pacts or anything. All we had was a shipbuilding agreement. So it's a bit ironic to build them ships and then attack them, but hey, it's a valid potential strategy. And at this point, I'm really worried about Fed just being able to crush Cyborg way too easily, especially with Evil Empire and Bird as an ally. If I do that, of course, I would want Bird to back off. I did get. I'm hissing for Bird at his planets right now, and I'm hoping that will build some good friendship and give me some sway in his decision making. So here I am in the bottom left, and early in the game, the question was, who do I attack? Do I attack Robot or do I attack Crystal? Robot didn't look like a very good target early on. My minesweeping ability was kind of limited, and more importantly, Fed was right next door. And I did really want Fed to send his fleet east towards Cyborg, and I didn't think that I should do anything to mess with that. So I decided to leave or Robot alone, and I started preparing to attack Crystal instead. Now you might see I actually have a lot of ships here. I got T-Rexes with heavy phasers, a couple of LCCs, a pretty good force for minesweeping. And I'm not at war with Crystal yet. These ships are all here under the pretext of, hey, let me send my fleet through your space, and then we'll attack fascists together. Um, so Crystal's basically accepting that. Not that they have too much choice, because if they said no, I'd send my fleet up anyway. But the pretext here is that I'm sending these T-Rexes and Lizard class cruisers to, begin an invasion of fascist being allied with the Cyborg, who we all recognize as a threat. So basically, I was planning a backstab, um, something I never do, by the way, except in the championship game. um, so that was my plan, and everything seemed to be working well. Um, but I have some serious concerns now that Cyborg is going to get defeated too easily by this Evil Empire and Bird combination. I don't have a ton of faith in Cyborg's ability to win this war, especially not quickly. I'm pretty concerned that Fed's going to get his fleets up there, maybe with privateer meteors helping to speed things up, increasing the speed 2 times. And basically, once Fed shows up here, I think Cyborg's going to get crushed. So now I'm in this position where I'm asking, do I actually want to attack Crystal? Do I need to maybe arrange for something else? I would like Crystal to maybe send a hype ship across the map and start laying webs for Cyborg now. Um, Thinking maybe this can delay Fed or maybe even help, you know, Cyborg win against Evil Empire. But of course, this means that I'm not going to be attacking Crystal anytime soon if I do that. I don't know if Crystal can really be counted on to keep laying webs for very long after I start taking his colonies from him. Other things that Crystal has proposed is, instead of declaring war on fascists, declaring war on colonies. It's not the worst idea, but in all of these calculations, I'm thinking, what's my end game? What I want is I want to control the most planets, and this game is going to end around turn 100, so it's a fixed turn game. So basically, I just want to think, how many planets can I grab by that time, and can I control more planets than anyone else? I was thinking maybe I could control some of the center stuff, grab Crystal, and if I'm lucky, get up to this northwest area where no one is yet. Um, in that kind of competition, I think colonies would be a big uh, threat because they have the COBOL, which prevents them from getting limited by fuel, so they can really colonize very far and wide without running into logistics problems. Bird was fighting a war against Rebel for a while, but I'm told that they've made peace. Colonies and Fascists were also fighting, but they've also made peace too. So in this game, a lot of peace going around. And the last big thing that has changed is that Robot has resigned and one of his teammates is now playing. So Robot was playing a pretty timid game in the early game. He was basically Fed's vassal, even though he maybe didn't have to be. Um, I coerced him to give up an instrumentality, which he did, but probably shouldn't have done. Um, but now there's a new player who's sort of giving some hints that maybe he's not happy being Fed's vassal forever, and maybe himself wants a chance to win this game. So I think that's huge. That's a big turnaround from before, because before the last player said he basically wanted Fed to win the game if he couldn't, and that he specifically said he didn't want me to win because I'm Lizard and Lizard has won the championship several times before. So that's really big. Now I'm looking at a robot player who realistically might actually decide to attack Fed at some point. So if Fed can get lured towards the northeast with all his fleets, Robot could maybe decide, hey, I'm going to attack Fed now, and maybe I could help out him with that even. Maybe lend him a cloaker for mine laying, and Fed might not be able to do a lot to stop him. And that would open the door for me to take over a lot of planets, which could cinch me the game. And lastly, Cyborg said he's looking for a way to attack Fed or Robot. Now, I don't want him to attack Robot because I kind of want to make Robot my friend and hope that he attacks Fed at some point. But I do kind of want to open the door maybe for Cyborg to attack Fed. So I thought maybe what I could do is I could maybe build a starbase maybe in the middle of the map here, secretly for Cyborg, and then he could build a fire cloud there and then just funnel in a big fleet and start moving into Fed space from there. It's kind of an audacious plan. I don't know how well it would work, but that is a thought that I'm having. Uh, if there's any way that Cyborg is going to attack Fed and do it successfully, I think that would be it. So those are my options. And here, by the way, I do have a Cyborg ship right here, and I'm actually considering signing over that starbase to him so that he could do just that. He could maybe actualize that Firecloud plan at some point in the future. But the problem with that is that if he did that, he'd be going straight into robot space. And with robot as a potential ally, I don't know if that makes the most sense. So we'll have to see how things go with the diplomatic situation and robot. Right now, though, the biggest thing on my mind is, do I attack Crystal? I've been planning for it for the last 10, 15 turns. I've been sending my fleet up there, thinking about how I'm going to do it, and now I'm suddenly hesitating because I'm worried that Cyborg is a bit too weak against Fed, and maybe we might need some Crystal help after all, laying webs to slow down Fed. So that's where I'm at. That's my big conundrum right now, is basically, do I attack Crystal? And the next question is, if so, when? So that's the political situation right now. Lots of thoughts of backstabbing, and this is not an ally game where you can win cooperatively. There's only one winner in this game, so I want to be it, and every other player wants to be it. So the politics of the situation will be negotiated around that. All right, so I think I've said everything I have to say for the game right now. If you're in the Discord, I do welcome your comments on the political situation. It seems a little bit complex, like a tangled web. So your comments are welcome. And one last note, I did hope that I could win or have an allyship with Crystal, but I have this feeling that he was trying to get all of my neighbors to attack me. Some people have said that he's tried to encourage them to attack me, and I just don't think he's the most reliable guy. Everyone is also saying he's a little shifty with his negotiations and can't really be trusted that much. So I've taken that to heart, and I have limitations on how much I think he's actually willing to participate in an attack against another player like Colonies or Fascist or Robot, who he seems enthusiastic about attacking, but I don't know how much he's actually willing to commit. I think he kind of just wants to stay back and minimally participate and watch other people lose their ships while he tries to win. All right, that's all for now. I look forward to your comments. Ciao, guys.